final piece of news. We had a report from Bloomberg. So this is from Mark Gurman, who is the biggest Apple leaker or reporter. Breaks a lot of stories of new things that Apple are working on, sometimes wrong, so we have to take it with a grain of salt, but it appears that Apple have long-term view to develop AR technology, but prior to that, they are going to release, as early as next year, a VR headset. And the VR headset they're talking about, in very typical Apple fashion, they said it's going to be significantly or at least moderately more expensive than other units that are available right now. And it's going to be similar to something like the Oculus Quest 2, where it's an all-in-one offering, where it's got a battery, it's got a compute unit, everything's built and integrated into the headset itself, so you don't need a PC to support it. So, Mike, as the biggest supporter of VR, even though you never play it, what do you think of this Apple VR unit that is reported to come out next year?
I have one question.
Yeah.
What does it mean when you say take it with a grain of salt? I don't get it. Is it because you're...
That's a good question.
What do you mean?
Well, you just said take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Take it with a grain of salt.
It's a saying. Don't you know that saying?
Yeah, but what does it mean? I don't get what it means.
You know what? I sat there and I thought to myself as he said that, I'm like, I don't actually know what that means.
You don't know that saying?
No, I know the saying,
but I don't know what it means.
But what does it mean? You know,
like, what's the etymology of it?
Yeah, what's the etymology?
I don't know.
Why would you take something with a... Yeah.
I don't know. Am I meant to know all of the etymologies of all the sayings? We don't even know where Fed income comes from. So can I use these words even if we don't know? So like, what do you think of this?
I read the articles. I have a Quest. I have a PSVR. I don't use them enough. I get it, but I'm huge on the whole VR thing in the sense that I think it's going to be big. I really do think.
5 years ago, you were like, VR is going to be the main way that people play.
And I wish I put some. I bought some shares in some VR companies of some sort.
Well, they would have lost money.
I don't. So, from what I've read, this is basically meant to be a thing that's a precursor to AR.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I necessarily think AR is going to be as big as they think it will be. I have no idea. I was wrong on these things before. It might be the next big thing. Other than Pokemon Go, as you guys said, I just don't see a lot of use that people actually... I see a lot of potential use, but I don't see a lot of actual use of AR technology, even on mobile phones. And that technology exists, and it's fairly advanced already. So having a pair of glasses that does some of that, I can absolutely see the cool things you could do with it. I just don't know what the adoption will be in the short term. Whereas I genuinely think that something like a VR headset or the VR tech, whilst it's a bit more cumbersome in some ways, they've ironed a lot of that stuff out. So, putting the Quest 2 on, not having to have a cable, none of that stuff, it feels good. It feels like, okay, this is finally how I want to play this thing.
Do you have a Quest 2? I thought you had a Quest 1.
No, I've got the original Quest. But it doesn't have wires either.
Did you say cumbersome?
Probably.
I like that.
Probably. Hey, man, up until I was 12 or something, I didn't know a single word of English other than hello and Mickey Mouse. So shut up. I mispronounced some stuff incorrectly. I'm a filthy immigrant.
I'll take that. I deserve that.
So I don't know. I find it interesting. So I don't get it. And the price, again, speculation. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means.
It'd be like a grand.
Like a grand? Yeah. A grand isn't really that much for VR, though.
No, dude, minimum.
There's a lot of headsets that are a grand for VR anyway. I think the way I read the articles, it feels like it's more than a grand.
Well, look at their new over-ear headphones.
That's
Australia,
a grand,
like
and it's just headphones. Yeah. Well,
and
just headphones. Yeah. I shouldn't say it like that because they're probably really good.
No, they're very good. They're very good.
What I think is that people still buy it, but it's definitely becoming a bit more of a niche item. When you can buy, do I spend $1,000 on that, or do I get the 1000 MX3s or the Bose QC35s?
Anyway,
there's cheaper alternatives that are amazing.
Going back.
So anyway, back to VR. I think it's cool. I think it's too much speculation at the moment. I want to see what this thing does when it comes out. There wasn't enough of what differentiates it from other VR products. especially if other VR products are so much cheaper and accessible. So unless you happen to go, well, I don't want to buy a Quest 2 because I hate Facebook and I don't want to do the Facebook integration, and the only other choice I really have for like a standalone device like that is maybe this thing. I don't know why they're doing this if they really are releasing it. So I feel like it's cool to tell people that this thing is coming out, but I feel like we need a bit more information to really assess where they're trying to place it in the market, what they're trying to do with it, what they're hoping to really achieve with this thing. A little too early to say, I think.
Yeah, I think for me, because Oculus is really doing this, and I'm so off Oculus, given that you now have to have a Facebook account and link it all in, and if you get your
make a
Facebook
fake
account
one.
blocked, you can't. No, if you have your Facebook account blocked, it
You
then
can't use it,
bricks the Oculus. Bricks
Wait,
it.
the whole Oculus?
Yeah. People are now jailbreaking.
That wouldn't be
the
legal in
Oculus.
Australia, surely.
Maybe
would
not,
not
but they'll
be
probably just
legal
give you a
for something like
refund.
that to
It doesn't
happen.
mean that they'll reverse.
Yeah,
what
I'll
they're
be fine.
doing.
I'll have a refund. Get another one.
So yeah,
Create
I'm
another
very
fake
much
account.
off the Oculus, but you can see strategically what they're doing with the Oculus. They're creating Oculus Quest specific games now. Don't even work on the Rift or like older Oculus versions. And I feel like
Just
Apple
tied
would
into
do
the
the exact
ecosystem.
same thing. Like, there's no way that Apple would make something that you could just use as a generic PC VR unit.
Of course they will. Yeah.
So
they will.
they'll have it so that, it's all linked in with the iPhone ecosystem and all that kind of stuff, which I'm just not interested in VR games like that.
All I know is that when this gets announced, the mainstream media and a lot of people will just act
MSN.
like this is a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll go,
Apple
VR, we have
reinvents
VR now.
VR.
Oh my
Remember
God.
VR in the 90s, kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they will.
Apple
You're right,
have
Sweetie. They'll
reinvented
do
it.
that. That'll be so annoying. So yeah, I'm struggling because I don't think the HTC units, for whatever reason, I'm just like, meh. I like the Valve Index, but it's so insanely expensive in Australia.
Yeah.
So
The,
I'm pinning my hopes on
HP is really good.
PSVR 2. So I'm going to wait until that comes out in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because then I can play Astro Bot Rescue Mission, and all the rumors are that the PSVR 2 will work on PC natively.
That would be really cool.
Which
the
makes
only
sense because they're moving a lot of stuff into PC, Sony. So I think that would make a lot of sense if they did that.
I really hope somehow they manage to get rid of the cable though. I almost feel like it's
It's very cumbersome,
mandatory
right? Yeah.
for success. It is, especially on the PSVR, more so than the Quest, where it's a single cable that plugs into the PC. It's not that hard. Setting it up and stuff is a bit more annoying. But
I know my-
there's so many cables you got to plug, and there's a separate switch box, and it's a pain in the butt to do it.
I
So
know
you
my
just don't do
mate
it.
who he was going to stay with his family up here, but because of the COVID restrictions, couldn't. So then I couldn't play Half-Life Alyx. So I have this game that I can't play now.
And it's too late to refund because it's been past the.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got it on sale. But he is the only person I know who is like a devout VR person.
Okay.
He uses it every day, religiously,
For gaming or other things?
gaming and also just watching media.
Media.
So
okay.
he'll be in his
Yeah,
bed
Media.
with his wife and have like a headset on.
So
watching
he's
stuff.
watching like porn probably while
No.
she's right there next to him.
No,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
edit
about
this show
that.
so much.
What
No.
is wrong with saying that? It's probably what he
no,
does.
No, let's just move on. So, no,
Okay.
he does both in terms of gaming and also watching media. And yeah, he
Media. You
loves it.
keep calling it watching media.
He
alright.
has a special Wi-Fi router where he can beam it directly to his Quest 2, so with
Ooh.
no wires from the
That's
PC.
interesting. From the PC.
And he says it's
Lag
he,
free?
he can't even
That's
tell the
pretty good.
difference between a hard cable and the like it's like a whatever the
Wow.
Wi-Fi standard is, like AC. Wi-Fi 6 or whatever the
Yep,
latest standard
yep.
is. He's got the latest
1200,
1200,
1200,
whatever
I
it
don't know
is.
what
It's like the
stuff is.
latest standard for Wi-Fi, and then, yeah, he's
Okay.
like, it's amazing. So
Huh.
that would be really cool if they had that with PSVR 2. If
Yeah.
it's just like wireless, it has like, because you don't even, for me personally, I couldn't imagine playing longer than 2 hours, man. I feel like you'd lose your mind.
I have had longer gaming session with
Really?
Skyrim and
In
stuff
VR?
like that.
Jeez.
Yeah. And it does feel you get a little
Yeah.
definitely more exhausted than just looking at a normal screen.
Yeah.
Plus, it fogs up. There's a few little things like
Oh,
that
really?
that just Oh, and that was the other
I'm a
thing.
sweaty boy, so it would definitely.
I am
fog up.
fairly sweaty, and I
Yeah.
wear glasses as well. So
Oh,
that's
that
a
reminds-
double fog.
That
It's so
reminds
annoying.
me. There's this So I love watching Giant Bomb stuff, and they for their Christmas specials they often have VR. And there's this
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
moment where they like passes the VR headset to someone else, and he puts it on, and it just gets like just sweat or like all in his eyes and everything from the previous person.
That's what
And
it's
it's
probably
just
like.
like,
It's
oh
sweaty.
man, it's
Ugh.
disgusting. Disgusting.
Sweeney,
It's your
can
own
we
sweat, it's fine.
can we have some outrageous target? Like I don't know what it is, like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or whatever you want, Sweeney.
Oh.
Where if we breach that threshold, then you have to play Resident Evil 7 VR, and we can record you playing
Why me? Why me?
because you don't want to do it. That's why.
Yeah, one, you don't want to
Well,
do
I
it.
don't
Two,
even-
you're probably more scared than.
I also don't have a way to play it, so
We'll figure
you're-
that out. We'll
You're
figure
the
that out.
one with
figure it
the
out. You can
PS4.
borrow my. I have
Yeah.
the PSVR. You can borrow
Intigot,
it,
you're
it's
the
fine.
one with the PS4. Like
Would-
Yeah.
you're the
would
one
you
You're
that
the
should
one
do
that's
that?
scared of scary games.
Would you be willing to do that, Sweeney?
No.
Oh, look at this team player.
Yeah.
All I know is this whole conversation is just making me think we're getting closer to a Demolition Man future.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, three
I got
seashells
my
and-
3 seashells ready.
No,
Which, by the way,
VR
specific-
chat. I know what you're talking about. And I
Yeah,
don't want to
specifically,
leave
let's
Mike
go
down
back
that
to the
track.
hotel.
No,
don't
I
wanna
wasn't
leave
gonna
Mike
go
down
down.
that
I
track.
wasn't gonna go down that track. I was just gonna quickly say that in Cyberpunk they have that reference.
Mm.
If you go into your bathroom, there's 3 seashells next to it, which I thought was
So
really
it's true.
cool.
It must be true.
Hey, so the only thing the last thing that I just remembered speaking that we were talking about PSVR. So someone who suffers from ocular retardation, I have astigmatism, and
Is that the word for it?
apparently-
Anyway, moving on.
no, I'm pretty sure it's called ocular retardation.
Okay.
I mean, look
go
it
on.
up. I'm pretty sure that's the
I don't
official
wanna-
term for it.
Go on. Go on.
Like many scientists agree, that's what it's called. So,
He is
What-
correct. He is correct. He's not being offensive.
All right. Go on.
so what I worry about is that apparently this thing doesn't really have room for glasses and stuff. You can get lenses. So when you buy it, did you see
Oh,
that
yeah,
part?
yeah,
They
yeah.
go
And
you
they want
get
prescriptions or
custom
something.
prescription
Yeah,
lessons,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah. What the
of
hell?
course then they run into the whole prescription issue. But the problem is, as someone who's got astigmatism, where it's not just about the strength or the
Yeah.
negative, positive, far-sighted stuff, it's about the angles and stuff. You literally need special prescriptions that are a certain angle and stuff, and you can't. I highly doubt they'll go down that path. Well, they'll make it available for that level of detail.
I think they
of
would, man,
prescription.
because it's Apple.
They would have
They're-
to, because otherwise you're screwed. People
you
like
know,
people are
Apple's
like, nah, I
crazy
can't
with
use
that
this
stuff.
thing.
Apple will look at it and go, "How do we get it?" So people go into a retail store, they get their eyes tested or whatever,
It'll be some
and
shit like that.
then they'll have special lenses that they build for it. So then it's all
Yeah.
seamless. It's like take off your glasses
Which-
and put it on, which is
It's
cool.
cool. By the way,
It's
I think it's
cool,
really cool. But
but
how
it's
much
so
is that going to
Apple.
cost?
I'm
Just
telling
going
you,
getting
it's
a
going to
prescription.
be.
That's going to be
All right.
super expensive. So
I'm gonna guess. So this is next year, so we'll probably won't even record the guesses, but I reckon it will cost $1,300 Australian. How much do you think it would be?
I reckon it's going to be 1,499 Australian.
Whoa, okay, jeez.
Yeah.
We'll do prices right. ones.
Swinny, you want to have a crack?
Well,
at
I
this?
was going to
doesn't
say
care.
I was going to say 1,500. So
Well, you
Oh,
still
okay,
can.
wow, so
Maybe
you
it is
guys-
1,500. Maybe it's like 1,501 and you win. So
Wait, no, it's prices right rules, so he's pegged you in. Because what did you say? 14,995 or something?
No, 49.9. So
He's really pegged you in then.
yeah. If it's anything above that, we're both screwed.
It's true. All right, well, let's get into my favorite segment of every week,
Swinny loves pegging me in.
which is